Welcome to our fourth Wonderspace journey, where for a few minutes once a week we orbit around life-giving wonders and stories of hopefulness. Joining us in a few minutes from this virtual window seat 250 miles above Earth will be Nathan Atkinson from Leeds, who will be answering the 6 questions that we ask all of our guests. We start with a 1-minute wonder that this week spans across a few countries in southern Africa. At certain times of the year, from this vantage point, we are able to witness one of UNESCO's World Heritage Sites called the Okavango Delta in northern Botswana. At the beginning of every year, the water that falls on the highlands of Angola starts a 750-mile journey towards the Okavango Delta. It takes 3 months for this water to transform this harsh desert land into a water paradise and one of the most epic congregations of life anywhere on Earth, with over 250,000 animals and 500 species of birds migrating to this natural oasis. Wonder is happening every day all around us. The rhythms and patterns of sunrise and tides and full moons of migrating birds and the annual movements of water that fill deltas. The wonders of film and architecture and particle physics and the global movement of people using craft as a kind of beautiful form of protest. Amongst the challenges, there is so much to lift our eyes and spirits at this time. From this virtual window seat, we are joined this week by Nathan Atkinson, and we start by asking which city or country he would like us to fly over and why. And the questions are reflected in the words at the bottom of the screen.
If we could fly past any part of the world, for me it would be a county, and I'd like that to be Yorkshire, because it's been home for most of my life and a place that's provided work and opportunity for generations of my family, whether they moved there from a different part of the country and they put down roots, and the various industries historically, coal and rail, that have provided that opportunity. So I see it as a place of beauty. So there's the dales, there's the coastlines, there's the cities. It's a place to play and as well as a place to work. And it feels like a place of strength, but equally at times it's been a place of vulnerability. As a county, I'd say it's supportive, but most definitely at times it's challenging. And I think that it's the word home and those connections and those values and safety and security and a place of inspiration and a place of belonging. So Yorkshire is the place I'd like us to fly over. My life so far has most definitely been full, and it's been full of, I would say, opportunity, but also at times challenge as well. As a younger person, followed a passion and a love for sport, but then transitioned more into teaching, and that desire to help others be the best that they can be is something that has always sort of driven what I do and my approach to the things that we do. So becoming a teacher really presented that opportunity to work with children, and always wanted to work with children in vulnerable situations from vulnerable communities to really work to enrich their outcomes. As I progressed through that profession, to be able to become a head teacher was a goal and one that I fulfilled, and being a head teacher for 10 years presented me with the opportunity to create some amazing experiences and life opportunities for children. Equally, it provided some frightening insights to the reality lived by some of these children, and as a head teacher of a large inner city school, seeing the number of children coming to school hungry each day was really alarming. When we think about hunger, generally people think about developing countries, but it's actually an issue right here on our doorstep in the UK. And so I vowed to remove hunger as a barrier to learning. But I didn't want to just keep this to myself. I felt really strongly that I wanted to raise awareness, so decided to hold an awareness day across Leeds, by which I would provide a breakfast for children in school using food that would have otherwise been thrown away. 3 months after sending that email, with the help of volunteers and community groups, managed to provide 10,000 children with access to a breakfast using food that would have otherwise been thrown away. And this was the start of a story that has gone on to deliver hundreds of tons of food to children and their families. But for me, as an educator, I didn't just want to provide food. I wanted to work towards creating long-term sustainable behaviour change, and in response to this created a supporting education programme that would go alongside the food. And we've worked to develop a scheme of work that places food at the heart of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, with the message that you can eat to save the planet. And as our work has continued and evolved, we've managed to add additional programs to our offer, and Rethink Food Futures is our most recent addition, and this introduces soil-free aeroponic growing systems into classrooms. Children start their journey as a scientist, then become a farmer, then become a chef, but most importantly a consumer. And we've worked with businesses to be able to help fund these for schools. And this work really helps people build a positive relationship with the food that they eat and they grow. And we want children, and all people in fact, to start to rethink food on every level. My place of reset, not actually a place, but it's a resource. And it's a resource that connects many different places and many different points in time, and it's a resource as simple but at times as scarce as water. And water for me helps to reset, and having access to water, simply to wash your hands and your face, can help you reset. And equally to drink, to hydrate, to walk, to run, to sit in the rain, to swim or float in a pool, or to be bashed about in the waves of the sea. It's that water that for me provides that reset. The wonder of the natural world, and this links to the work that I do now, is food that you can grow within your own setting, your own environment. The wonder of that food, from taking a tomato out of your fridge or pantry or shelf, wherever you take it, and enjoying it and eating it, but maybe removing one of those seeds from that tomato. Just looking at it is pretty amazing, but then drying it out, germinating it, planting it, watching it grow again, and that wonder of that process and the connection and the relationship that you can build over time with something that's amazing. My example that I'd look towards would be Patagonia, and just a great example of what I would deem community, that happened to be a business at the same time, working away from that fast fashion to a more sustainable make, do, amend, be able to think about recycling and something that's going to last a long time. And then taking that principle of those investments within people, within their product, to then taxing themselves, as they describe their 1% for the planet, that self-imposed earth tax that they champion to defend the air, land and water across the globe. So something that started off to make a difference and add value to somebody's hobby and a pastime that's enriching individuals' lives has grown and scaled and become a force for good. So as we're re-entering, I think it's time to realise that we are global citizens and have a responsibility that we're residents on this planet, and that this planet is vulnerable and that our actions can increase the vulnerability of such an amazing, wondrous place and resource. We've developed a saying within our organisation that good things take time, but with time they get better. And I think that this is an opportunity to make things better, and through collaboration and a collective responsibility, a huge opportunity to be able to do that.
You can read more about the work and vision of Nathan at rethinkfood.co.uk. So as we prepare for re-entry, what wonder takes your breath away? What story that is not your own renews a sense of hopefulness? In future Wonderspace editions, we would love to share your wonders, your stories of hopefulness. So please join us online, where you can post and share and connect with other people from around this earth. I want to thank Nathan for joining us in this window seat, and I look forward to sharing this view with you again at the next Wonderspace. In the meantime, I leave you with a sound of reset, life, hydration, hopefulness. Okavango.